why should we actually care about digital data? Why should we make it a priority?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the biggest thing that I look at is the 5 pillars on our site. As to, for us, we started the company, we're looking at how do we actually branch data into actually digital marketing results. And that's not just social media. That's looking at your Google Ads campaign. That's looking at your Google My Business perspective as well on top of that, because everything revolves around. If someone finds you at the top of the funnel, so let's just say someone sees you, they see a radio, they listen to a radio ad, they see you on a social media platform, then they will go and follow you, or on Instagram, on LinkedIn, then they may even Google you. They might actually find to see, have you got good reviews, what's your website like, and that has to all intertwine with each other. So why digital data is so important to us? 5 pillars that I look at is, it's actually about improving your services. So like, we would actually look at, from an analytical perspective, we would go and look at, okay, so if they're going onto your page, how long are they spending on that page? Are they only spending 10 seconds? Well, then there's something not right there if that's the case. That's my first piece of data point that I'm like, okay, the bounce rate is too high. We're not giving them something that they are looking for on specific pages. That's my first pillar. Second pillar then is, it may be potentially an opportunity for us to look at new profit margins. So from a perspective of, if someone is going onto your website or onto your social platform and you're giving them an offer, but they're not taking up on it, again, that's your data point. So we're looking at that perspective as well. So the first one would have been looking at, how can we improve our services both on a digital perspective? Our second one would be looking at, how can we generate more profit or more results prospectively on that perspective? Better understanding our customers is probably the main one that I'd be looking at. So what I'm looking at is, like that, from a bounce rate perspective, from people who are engaging with our ads. Why are they engaging with our ads? What content are we throwing out at them? Is it live performing better? Is it videos performing better? Is it TikTok performing better? Even this week, we've just run an ad since yesterday. They've had double the actual results as Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories. So that's the data we're building on our site as to, why is that working? Is it the algorithm? Is it the platform itself? Is it the demographic that we're targeting is just on that audience? So they're the kind of big things. The second last one then is the financial side, as in, you don't want to run into a financial disaster. Using data can actually give you an idea as to what's working and what's not working, and where you're not putting money and where it's not generating anything in the return. That's where you can actually turn off those ads. That's probably one of the main ones that you're looking at, especially because if you're on a tight budget or if your agency doesn't allocate. And I think the biggest thing that I learned from your summit, Joanne, was the least amount of budget goes towards social media. Do you know? And I'm like, but that's where people will make their decisions, is on social media. If they want to sign up to something, if they want to actually buy something, that's where they're going to do it. Yes, I can understand the brand awareness perspective on other outlets, but I'm just like, I just don't understand that point. Well, that's where for us, we need to make sure that if we're spending money, there is a return on that perspective. The last one then is the trends. Probably the biggest one for me is, like that now, we've run a campaign just since yesterday. We've noticed that TikTok is performing better. So we know that we have to put more actual budget into TikTok because it's actually providing more return on investment on that perspective. So why we actually care about digital data, that's exactly why I care about digital data. It's my 5 pillars really more so.